Hey there, it's Bill here with JKS Southwest. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate everybody watching. So you can probably see we are not on the trail today. We are at the house. We're going to be putting some parts on the Jeep. As many of you know, I'm a big fan of JKS Manufacturing and everything they build. I've been running a 3.5-inch J-Spec lift on my Jeep since I bought it, and it's been fantastic. When I did put that lift on, I went with their J-Link control arms. The J-Link is a fixed length control arm. It's got rubber style cleveite bushings at either end. It's perfectly matched to the 2.5 or 3.5-inch lifts. Uses a rubber style cleveite bushing at either end, so it's super comfortable. But as I start upgrading the Jeep and I want to run some larger tires here pretty soon, I want just a little bit more adjustability. I want to get that little bit of wheelbase back and make sure I got clearance for those larger tires. So I bought a set of their J-Flex fully adjustable control arms with the flex joints. So that's what we're installing today. Like a previous install when I did the flip kit, the Draglink flip kit and the tie rod, put a link to it up here. This won't be a full step-by-step tutorial. Instead, I'm going to kind of highlight just some of the steps and let you follow along. So let's get to it. So here's a quick look at those J-Link control arms. Again, these are fixed length. They've got the cleveite bushing at either end. And while they worked great, they just lacked the adjustability that I wanted. Well, with the wheel and tire off, you can also see that I upgraded the ball joints. I went with the TerraFlex HD ball joints. And I got some gussets welded up here on the outer C's just to help strengthen up that Dana 44 front axle here. So the control arm, lower control arm here, it's just held on by 2 bolts. One at the axle end, one at the frame end. It's just a 21 millimeter that we're gonna zip off and drop that control arm out. So here's a little closer look at the arms we're throwing on. Again, they're the JKS J-Flex arms. Heavy. These things weigh a ton. Thick tubing, thick walls. They do have a rubber style cleveite bushing at the end that mounts to the axle. And then they have the flex head that mounts up off the frame. Now they've got a Zerk joint built in so you can keep them greased up. What we're going to do first is get this head, the adjustment and thread it out, get some anti-seize put on these threads here so that we have no problems in the future if we want to adjust them. Alright, so we got some anti-seize on the adjustment threads. That's good to go. Now we just need to set the length. The length is going to vary on the lift you run, how high you're running. It's going to vary on the pinion and caster angle you want to run. So I've got the measurements I'm going to shoot with. Most lift kits will come with length to start with, and then it's going to be based on your alignment, your caster and camber specs. So once you get your length set, just tighten down the jam nut and we'll throw them on. Alright, so that was the lower control arm. To get the upper control arm, again, it's just this bolt right up here. And then on the JK, depending on what year you have, there's a little heat shield that goes around the control arm mount that mounts to the frame. So 10mm pulls the nut off there, the one on the top. Pull that off and you can get access to the bolt that holds the upper control arm on. All right, where is that 10mm? Now that all the arms are back on, we're just going to snug a couple of these bolts down, get the Jeep, our tires back on, get the Jeep on its own weight, and torque everything down. Alright, the Jeep's back down on the ground. Let's get those control arms torqued down now. Well, that's it. The arms are on. They're all measured to length, they're torqued to spec, the zerks are greased, and the jam nuts are tightened. So we're ready to hit the trails. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, leave any comments down below, and we'll see you next time.